now it's time for the Flan-Flinging programme, packed full of fun and frolics. Guests are Super Sting of the Police and rock group Genesis, so hold on to your hats. It's Tiswas.
Somebody missing.
Who? You're here?
I'm here.
I'm here?
Yes, we're hearing your
Froggy! Where's Froggy?
Froggy's not in your telly.
No.
Where is he?
It's February 1981 and Phil Collins's Face Value tops the UK charts. The album's unexpected success transforms Collins's popularity overnight and puts him on course to become a household name and one of the new decade's defining artists. The album was well received by the UK music press, with even the notoriously critical NME begrudgingly admitting that some of it was in fact okay. By the time of its release, Phil was developing new ideas with his Genesis bandmates in their newly built studio in an old farmhouse in Surrey. However, as Phil's album hit number one, the band immediately halted development on their new album, only to reconvene a month later. It's likely that this pause gave all concerned time to reconsider the direction that their new album should take in light of both Phil's success and the rapidly changing new wave musical landscape. Face Value established Collins as a true equal and arguably new leader within this band, and in interviews around the time, he makes explicit reference to Genesis wanting to look after themselves for a change, rather than creating music that their fans expected them to make, creating music that was less complicated, freer and looser. Owning their own studio meant that they could do just that and experiment and jam more without the worry of time constraints and costs. So much so that the volume of material created and the confidence that they felt in it meant that Abacab was originally planned to be a double album. To help produce their new dynamic sound, the band recruited Face Value engineer Hugh Padgham, who had also worked with Collins on Peter Gabriel's third album, where they created the now famous gated reverb drum sound. In order to assess this time period objectively, one has to understand how, in the UK at least, almost anything associated with the hippie 1970s became criminally unfashionable and ridiculed almost overnight. The post-punk revolution Genesis now faced was tearing the landscape apart, just as the post-Pepper revolution did a decade earlier. To underscore just how our favourite music fell out of fashion at this time, consider this definition from the UK's largest selling music magazine, Smash Hits, which described progressive rock and Genesis specifically as horrible, pretentious music for retards. And yes, that means you. However, Phil Collins' newfound success and mainstream acceptance now gave the band a lifeline, not just in terms of the way the music was to be produced, but also in how the band looked. In the highly stylised, self-consciously cosmetic early 80s, Collins' down-to-earth, everyday geezer persona resonated with a lot of people, especially in working-class northern cities like my own, where, before he turned into ubiquitous annoyance, we saw Collins like one of us. Collins typified a sort of anti-fashion look, with golfing jumpers, polo shirts and striped rugby tops that would be more likely seen on football terraces or the local pub rather than Studio 54 or Stringfellows. For the man who didn't have to try too hard, Collins didn't so much wear designer's stubble, he just couldn't be bothered shaving and looked not so much the rock star, but more like a self-employed plasterer, plumber or painter and decorator even. Speaking of such hip attire, before we unbutton Abacab, let's take a quick break and check out some of the latest styles for all you dedicated followers of fashion out there.
A new breed of sportswear. The Boston Athletic Club. Sportswear with spirit. The Boston...
Only $24.
Teacher, you're wrong, because during the July sale at Just Shirts, Hilton tops were $12 are now $5.
You got the look, I want to know better. You got the look, you got the look.
Make her Lacoste sweater and top for her, and the classic all-season V-neck sweater and sport shirt for him. Plus, G. Fox has an entire collection of cold...
in 32 striped color combinations. Shams de Baron.
Put some color in your life today.
Just Shirts at a mall near you.
Our bold new era starts with a huge, shining splash, arguably the most bold, dramatic and energetic opening to any of their albums. The track's title refers to the order that the sections of the song were originally comprised of: Section A, Section B, Section A again, and C, and so on. And although the final sequence here differs slightly, the band liked the original structure's name and so stuck with it. Released as a single, it made the UK top 10 and was rehearsed for the band's 2006 reunion concerts, but dropped when Collins declared that he really didn't know what the song was about. However, in keeping with the tradition of writing about his recent marriage breakup, the lyrics allude to a man that Collins' ex-wife once had an affair with. In what's probably just more than a coincidence, this man, who had taken someone else's girl, used to work for an actual cellophane company, a product referenced in the song. In the closing jam section, we hear faint discordant screeches. These are tape effects from the horn players used elsewhere on this album. This jam originally stretched for 15 minutes and was going to be released at this length, with the distinct ending as played on the live version also recorded. It was never originally planned just to fade out. This extended version was edited down once the double album idea was abandoned, which begs the question what else may have accompanied it on side one. In keeping with their new aim of making things sound as unlike traditional Genesis as possible, the band abandoned 7 trumpets blowing sweet rock and roll and instead invited the horn section of Earth, Wind and Fire to provide some sweet soul music. Collins has frequently referenced that this was their album after all, so why shouldn't they? Phil had worked with the horn section on Face Value and persuaded Mike Rutherford to fly over to LA and develop No Reply At All with them, with the initially sceptical Banks being won over when he heard the final results. Whilst totally alienating traditional fans, this is a fun and uplifting number driven by Rutherford's grooving bass, with lyrics that once again paint the picture of a stale relationship stagnating, a theme that is continued on our next number.
I get the feeling you're trying to tell me. Is there something that I should know? What excuse are you trying to sell me? Should I be reading stop or go? I don't know. The fires are burning in another land. Where will you go?
The first of 3 solo written numbers, this is a multi-segmented love story in classic Tony Banks tradition. Here he uses his favourite metaphor of the weather to reflect the main character's struggle, sorrow and soul searching.
All by yourself.
Tempo soon shifts into a faint reggae groove, a genre very much in vogue at this time, and it works surprisingly well and complements the otherwise bittersweet lyric. It was the first track to be created for this album, presumably written before Face Value was released, and it's no coincidence therefore that it shares the most similarity with Duke, with its soaring bridge sounding like it was written for Albert himself. Could Sarah Jane be his imagined girlfriend? Another face from a TV show.
Doesn't matter where I start, I always end up crawling through those same old crowded rooms.
Engineer Hugh Pancham had previously worked with punchy post-punk band XTC, and that band's unpredictable edge is evoked in Abacab's next number.
Keep it dark.
Keep It Dark is a real group effort built around an offbeat and irregular rhythm. What appears simple at first glance is really an intricate and complex song, so much so that it took the longest time of all of Abacab's tracks to complete. The mechanical verses are contrasted with a cycling, spacey chorus, the video of which shows the band adopting a speak, see and hear no evil pose, a motif that was used on the cover of its single release.
I wish that I could really tell you all the things that happened to me and all that I have seen.
The Banks lyrics feel like a retelling of Watcher of the Skies and tell the story of a person abducted to an alien utopian world only to have to keep it secret on returning. In early October, whilst on tour in the Netherlands, the band recorded a video walking around the pot-selling red light district of Amsterdam. Keep it dark indeed, gentlemen. Side 2 of Abacab is arguably the most disappointing and debated of the band's career, yet it opens with one of the most powerful and dynamic tracks. Dodo opens with a thunderous punch, similar to the earlier Squonk, and it shares its themes of a shy and ugly creature hunted to extinction.
Where does he go? What does he do? Does he meet with the mole, the stream, the cloud, and end up at the bottom of the sea?
Dodo's moving and grooving arrangements perfectly bridges the band's old prog sensibilities with the new wave edge of the early 80s. As it builds, the band prowls and growls around with a growing sense of menace and threat. This is 100% Genesis.
Caretaker, horror movie. Only one eye, only needs one boot. Sweet lady, she knows she looks good. Vacuum coming for the brights and the roots.
Ducking and diving, Collins delivers a tour de force and accentuating words in an angular style similar to Peter Gabriel, with Rutherford's soaring guitar evoking Hackett's playing. It's almost like our poor Dodo is back in NYC.
Ah, back in the sea!
The track finally segues into its lurker segment, where Collins delivers an opaque riddle, the best solution to which is that he is describing a lurking submarine. Banks has claimed that there is no hidden meaning to this song and that the words and phrases were just chosen because they sound right and can be sung to the music, rather than any deeper meaning that they may hold. It's the same rationale why this album was the first not to print lyrics on its packaging. However, the song is known to be part of a longer cycle that was followed, lo and behold, by a song called Submarine. This famed Dodo suite is the stuff of Genesis legend, and is much debated by the type of fan who puts 3 times 3 together and gets 666, and also gets that joke. The first reference to the famed suite comes from an Italian magazine article where Phil describes Dodo as having 2 additional coders. One, he says, is dreamy organ music in the style of Trespass, which then faded into a rhythmic chant. These are obviously the Submarine and Naminau tracks. Now, whether or not this is actually the best sequence is up for debate, as Naminau, a jazzy Brand X style groove, ends on a sucker punch that would arguably have introduced and cut into Dodo better. Either way, this suite would at one point have filled the whole one side of the double Abacab album, which was scrapped as the band decided more and more to divorce itself from past ideas and, brace yourselves, ventured onto new ones. Genesis have a tradition of slightly annoying, Mockney-style comedy numbers, Harold the Barrel, Epping Forest, Robbery and Salt and Battery and so on, but here they go full throttle with what is without doubt the most detested song in the band's entire catalogue. It was included at the insistence of Atlantic Records chairman Ahmet Ertegun, and considering the post-punk shift in popular music, I can begrudgingly see his point. The track was originally planned to be released as a single, and promotional photos, possibly from a video shoot, exist, showing the band dressed up as the I Didn't Do It convicts.
I didn't do it, I didn't do it, I didn't do it, I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
This single release was even mentioned when the band appeared on UK TV's Saturday morning Tiswas programme. The epitome of post-punk entertainment, this live and largely unscripted mayhem is sadly unimaginable on any platform today. Beloved by both kids and adults alike, it was a programme with no rules, no restrictions, and no committees deciding on what it should or shouldn't do. Genesis regularly appeared on Tiswas, and during one interview, with their own kids invited in, Phil describes whodunit's possible single release, but even he has reservations.
That's called Keep It Dark.
Yeah, you've just changed the single. It was going to be something else.
Well, there's going to be there's a couple of tracks. There's quite a few tracks on the album actually. They're quite radically different for Genesis.
Yes.
And one of the tracks that we wanted to put out was a track called Whodunit.
Yeah.
Which is a bit like that,
Yeah.
And I think we decided against to go with the sort of popular opinion that it might not have been the best choice for a single. So therefore we're going to put out Keep It Dark, which is also quite different for Genesis.
Yeah.
But something that people would better listen to and sort of not be too shocked straight away.
On a few occasions, the band were brave enough to play it live, and despite the best efforts wearing silly masks, the song was roundly booed. However, as a kid, I can really remember loving this track and annoying the hell out of my parents with it. I suppose that's its whole point. So, with such a derailing, where does our album go next to steady the nerves of the crusty old proggers as they shudder to pick up their pipe and slippers off the floor? An autumnal, acoustic number perhaps, or maybe a multi-segmented suite based around Greek mythology. No, it's a Phil Collins ballad sung to a drum machine. In a style fast becoming his trademark, Collins frames this melancholic tale around a Roland drum machine pattern. It's similar to Duke's Duchess, but sparser and lonelier.
'Cause there's no hiding place. There's no hiding place for you.
This track slowly builds, suggesting it will hit an In the Air Tonight style climax, but doesn't reach it, as if our main character's journey begins and ends on the same street corner. This is possibly Collins' first attempt at writing about the homeless and aimless, a subject that he would revisit in later writing. To be fair, it's a great song, and one that demonstrates Collins' mastering of the soulful ballad, and sequenced among stronger tracks, but it would probably be remembered more favourably than it otherwise is.
Now he's just waiting for something to show.
The album's penultimate track is yet another song about relationships breaking down. Now, what was it that these guys said about not wanting to repeat themselves on this album? The Like It or Not song has a more dense and traditional production than the rest of the album, reminiscent of the style of And Then They Were Free. It features a powerful vocal performance by Phil and a soaring guitar riff from writer Mike. However, despite its climbing structure, it fails to reach anywhere and feels slightly bland and repetitive, especially when contrasted with the dynamic peaks that this album has already hit. Perhaps the song is not that well remembered or appreciated. It's because so many fans just fail to get this far into the record. This lovely opening, originally intended for Duke, provides a deceptive optimism about our album's closer. The track soon settles into a lazy, kind of blues groove, becoming repetitive and slightly cliche-ridden. It's not that it's a bad song as such, it's just that it's average, and for this band, especially closing an album, an average song is simply not enough. The extended fade out inviting us to put another record on does seem a little ironic. In addition to Submarine and Nama Now, there were 3 other tracks recorded during the Abacab sessions that were left off the album, and many argue regrettably so. They were issued in the UK as the 3x3 EP, the first of which is Paperlate. It's the second track featuring the Earth, Wind and Fire horns, with the title of course coming from Dancing with the Moonlit Night. It was a phrase that Colin shouted into microphones during sound checks.
Ooh, it's too easy to talk about rocking the boat, making changes and changing track. Oh, but you better not lock that door, cause you'll be coming back.
One of the more energetic and dynamic songs from the Abacab sessions, Paperlate packs a real punch with an infectious groove, with Collins excelling himself with a passionate vocal and superb drumming. Man, I just love this track.
Cause you're not coming down.
The next track on the EP is You Might Recall. It's another superb number and removed from Abacab, much to the bewilderment of fans, and replaced by Whodunit.
What was it you said to me back in the days when things looked fine?
The song had a working title of Jangly, which totally suits the feel of the track.
I would never say what happened, and we knew better than push too hard. We knew we had all the chores to tend to, like fixing fences and helping her.
Final track on the EP is Me and Virgil. The lyrics here are a little forced and tell a Mark Twain style tale set in the Old West, and despite good intentions, the song comes across a little repetitive before it loses its thread with a meandering midsection and a frenetic paced ending that sounds like it really should have been developed into a song all by itself.
And to this day, I can hear my saying to me, you're a big boy now.
3x3 is a welcome addition to this era and comes in a spoof Beatles-style cover with sleeve notes written by an EMI designer who actually worked with the Fab Four. In September 1981, Abacab was released to largely very positive reviews, topping the UK charts and reaching number 5 in most European countries and number 7 in the US. The stripped down and abrasive nature of the music was perfectly complemented by the cover, typical of artwork from this period. The artist Bill Smith shown the band a portfolio of artwork, none of which impressed until Mike spotted a tiny 2-inch square doodle with blocks of colour on it. These colours were literally ripped up pieces from a Pantone colour picker chart. The artists were surprised by their choice, but the band were adamant that these random pieces of coloured paper and scribble best represented their new music. The artist later mocked up 3 additional variations of the design, with each band member liking a different colour, so to keep everyone happy, all 4 colour combinations were released, with the original dominant blue cover gradually becoming the standard. Abacab was a bold gamble that paid off, and with it they gained far more new fans than they lost, and it laid the foundation for Genesis becoming one of the world's biggest selling and most stunning live acts. The success of their concerts was partly due to the band pioneering stage lighting, specifically the development of the Very Light computer-controlled lighting system. The new lights, a system that we today take for granted, were premiered on the Abacab tour opener in a Barcelona bullring. And to give it more impact, it was decided to open the show with traditional lighting and then wait a few songs into the show before finally revealing the new ones. And so it was that partly through the Dodo track, for the first time ever, an audience saw a series of 50 lights moving together in unison and changing colour with a precision and speed never seen before. The results were jaw-dropping, with some of the effects receiving more applause than some of the songs. I leave this review with far more respect for Abacab than when I first started it. However, for many the album is something of a curate's egg, bad on the whole but with some good parts. Personally though, I'd say it's more the opposite of this, and it's a very good album but just let down by a few weak tracks. Either way, it's an album that dared to be different, with the only consideration for its audience being to give them the complete opposite of what they expected. It's ironic for those who view this album as a commercial sellout. In this sense, Abacab stays true to the band's progressive roots, creating challenging, risk-taking music, created on the band's own terms, whether you like it or not.